In this video, I'm going to be going over how I became a software engineer without a CS degree. Let's get into it. Hey, my name's Andrew, and if you're new to the channel, I transitioned into tech 2 years ago, and now I'm a software engineer from the Bay Area. I don't have a CS degree, and I didn't have any work experience before switching careers, so you're probably wondering how I was able to do this. Growing up, I wasn't the greatest student. I'd always try to find the easy route so I can have more free time to play MapleStory or RuneScape. I didn't even write a single line of code in college because someone told me that CS was too hard, and I didn't even try. I did take a web design class in middle school, but that was just working with HTML, and I just ended up putting GIFs all over the page. I graduated from UCR with a business degree and ended up working in the accounting field for the next few years. The work was easy and manageable, but it wasn't challenging at all, and it got mundane really fast. No one at work seemed to enjoy what they were working on, and it wasn't the best environment. But at the time, I was more concerned about having fun with my friends and was just living for the weekend. After a while, I realized that this wasn't sustainable, so I decided to make a change and learn some new skills in my free time. I knew SQL was a popular choice for analyst positions, so I decided to take an online course for the first time. After a short while, all those foreign characters and syntax finally started making sense to me. And shortly after, I was able to write my own SQL queries, which led to me building out my own projects using JavaScript. It wasn't until that moment that something clicked, that coding wasn't as difficult as I thought once you understood the language, and that this was something that I wanted to pursue as my career. So from that moment on, I spent all my free time learning how to code. It wasn't easy studying after a long day of work, but I knew I had to put in the effort if I wanted to change. After almost 2 years of working at my last finance job, I was let go because my role was being outsourced. It just so happened that the coding bootcamp that I applied to was also starting their next cohort soon. So that summer, I ended up attending that coding bootcamp in San Francisco. The next 13 weeks, I spent grinding and learning as much as I could, 6 days a week, 9 a.m. through 8 p.m. I'll go into detail about my coding bootcamp experience in a later video, but to sum up, it was an amazing experience, and that's where I met some of my closest friends. By the end of the program, I had 3 solid projects to showcase on my resume. It gave me a strong foundation to start my career and prepared me to interview with tech companies. Going into the job search is probably the most difficult challenge. A coding bootcamp can only prepare you so much, and it's up to the individual to really make it happen. And someone with my type of background is at a pretty big disadvantage since they're competing with other CS grads or people with prior work experience. I sent out hundreds of applications, which resulted in rejections or no responses. You really need to have thick skin during this process, but just know that you only need one yes. I treated the job search like a full-time job. I would submit applications and schedule interviews in the morning and study lead code in the evening. If you're unfamiliar with software engineering interviews, not only are you assessed on the behavioral portion, but there's also a technical portion where companies like to give out problems that involve data structures and algorithms. A simple example would be, given a list of sorted numbers, return true or false if a specific number is contained within that list. As a candidate, not only are you expected to come up with a working solution, but you need to come up with the most optimal approach, and there's usually follow-up questions that scale up the complexity. I was actually really terrible at this. I remember my first mock interview, I would completely blank out in the middle of the interview, and I wasn't able to articulate my thought process. Knowing that this was my weakest skill, I made a conscious effort to work on this and would set up mock interviews almost every day just so I get more comfortable. This definitely helped me improve, and now I kind of enjoy doing these problems now. It's true when they say that the best practice is actual experience. I didn't do well in my first set of interviews, but I saw each one as a learning experience. I asked myself after every interview, what could have gone better, and make sure to apply that to future interviews. After 3 months of brutal grinding, I ended up with 2 offers. And as of February of 2019, I started my new career as a software engineer. It's pretty amazing how much you can get accomplished in just a year, as long as you dedicate your time and effort towards your goals. Now, I enjoy coming to work, and I get a lot of fulfillment on the projects that I work on. If you're thinking about making the switch, I highly encourage it and taking the first steps to do so. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, I appreciate a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.